This is not going to end well, Mukaki.
Oh shit!
Where are they at? Are they down below this one? Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Oh shit!
You're watching good. You're watching good. The feels.
Hello, guys. Welcome back. So I just logged in, and in my my shop, there was this book from Nebris, and let's see here. There's a chest. Okay. I did not buy any of his mending books. You all have seen, in fact, where all my mending books came from. You saw me make a mending villager because this man's store never had mending books to buy. But thank you for purchasing books on the mend. However, dead is now owed. I need a villager with Unbreaking 3 enchants delivered to my village habitat of fun before September 15th. Otherwise, penalties may apply. Thank you for choosing on the mend for all your mending needs. No thank you. Maybe if I had actually got a mending book from you. But no sir, no way, no how. Alright. So I've picked out a spot. And I'll take y'all over there. But there's an island that way. Not very far from spawn. I want to just pick somewhere at this point and get like a little starter house set up and whatnot. And I don't want to be too far away from spawn. There's nothing super exciting about the area I've picked, but it's got some cool features. It's got a cool ravine and stuff. So yeah, I'll show you all that. I need to get a bed and stuff. That's why I actually came over here, was to get a bed. There's a cool Mr. Peanut looking guy, mustache man in town. That's new over here. Every time I log in, there's so many new things. But yeah, look at this guy. Everyone has a happy ghast. I'm like the odd man out with the happy ghasts. But yeah, I'm gonna grab a bed, go over there, and I'll be back with you guys, and we can kind of go over my island and talk about some plans. Hello. So I just logged on here, and I was in. I logged off up there, and I came down, and there's a sign, which I didn't know you could place a sign on a door like that, to be fair, claiming there's a biohazard warning. it looks like we have bed bugs. So let me deal with this. Can't have nothing, is what they said about their beds. These, what are these little, what are these? Is there a sign anywhere? I don't see a sign. So I don't actually know who's done this. What's funny is the buttons are their eyes, but they're also like on the ground, which I assume are supposed to be like eggs or something. Well done. They actually look pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. There's a something. I haven't been there before, so I guess that chunk is not known to me. I'll have to go see what that is too. It's big though. Jesus Christ. This place started to feel like a pixel art server. This is not me complaining. This is just an observation of how many wild things like the mustache man over here popped up. And now bed bugs. In my giant bed. But anyways, I'm gonna clean up the bed bugs. Get rid of all the invading insects. Make sure that they're good and dead, good and exterminated. We need an extermination service that can target players. Here's an up close of whatever the heck this man is. I like his mustache though. It's quite attractive. It looks like he's got a thing that could light up. Maybe it's like a billboard. It's going to advertise something. I don't know. Hi. So here's the island that I was planning on commandeering, taking as my own. I think that's Sigil's base. There's the boathouse. That's Nevers's base. I don't know what this nether portal over here is, because it's just an empty island with a nether portal on it, but there's a nether portal. There's the phoenix in the background. But yeah, it's a decently sized island. It's all birch trees. But it'll give me plenty of room to work, you know, plenty of room to expand and do whatever I want. I think over here... over here, that's the island that 80 set up on, and I think if we look up this way, yeah, on that hill there, that's where Baj and his villagers live. So the main point of focus where I'm going to start building is over here somewhere. It's kind of on the water's edge, but my focus point is not the water's edge. Yeah, it's right here. Little cove here, which is cool. I like the cove. I'll do something with that at some point. But my point of focus is going to be what I'm going to deem as Guude's crack. You've heard of Mindcrack. Well, now you've heard of Guude's crack. I mean, I can tell if someone's been here before. I don't know if that was during the UHC or when. But I haven't seen any indication that someone actually lives here. So... I think it's open. There wasn't any point of interest markers or anything like that. So I think it's open, but I want to make my base in my crack. So I'm going to check out this area. I'll record it. I don't know how much of it you'll actually see, but I'm going to go down there and see what's what, and I'll share that with you. Probably going to shut off these waterfalls eventually, but I'll probably leave them for now, just as an easy way up and down, just to get down in the crack. It's I don't know, I guess you could call it swamp ass. It's quite moist in the crack currently, but I probably won't keep it that way. But I'll offload my inventory. I brought a bunch of stuff over here. I actually have a bed now. I've been meaning to bring a bed over. And I'm going to set up a little temporary home here, clear out my inventory, and yeah, we'll see what's what. Welcome back. So, kind of cleared out a bit of trees, a little bit. I want to talk about some of my plans here. So we got the crack, obviously, and I've made an entry hole into my crack. So that's the way... partially in. It does look like, from just preliminary looks, that someone was in there during UHC. Like, it's got all the signs of UHC. It's not completely lit up. There's lots of things missed. And there's several, like, dig down spots and stuff, too. So, like, it looks like a UHC if I've ever seen one. But I was thinking somewhere up here in this area, this is going to be farmland. And you know, animals, that sort of thing, cows, pigs, sheep. I'm gonna find them on my own and bring them out here so that I'm not under any warranty with the animals that I purchase on the limitation of how many I can have. Okay. But here we go. We're entering the crack. And one thing I've noticed is apparently a slime chunk. I just keep running into slime chunks. Everyone's like, I haven't seen a slime. And I'm like, all I see is slimes. There's so many right here, though. that's one thing I've done on the surface so far. I spent most of my time digging down and getting it established to get down here. There's a zombie somewhere. I don't see him though. I bet I get over a stack of slimes from these guys. Between the three of them. But you see what I mean by, like, it feels very UHC, and I'll show you what I was talking about with the dig down too here in a second. I think I got less medium-sized slimes out of that guy. Alright, let's see what we got. Over a stack. Holy. Alright. But yeah, here's my little staircase. Nothing special. Just a staircase down. But yeah, this looks like UHC if I've ever seen it right here. I haven't actually gone all the way down here. It's like it just descends into blackness. Yeah. Am I back to where... Oh, no, it's just a dig down to get to the next level down. Okay. I was recording briefly there about 10-15 minutes ago, and whatever that lizard thing is loud. They were triggering it. I don't know how, but they were triggering it, and it's just like, lizard! But it wasn't just like that and then, like, be quiet for, like, a few minutes. It was, lizard! 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 And I was like, I can't even hear myself speak, so I gave up on that recording. It's gone to the void. So yeah, I'll have to go over there and take a look at it again. I've just been busy over here, so I didn't get to see whatever the loudest spam I've ever heard in Minecraft. And apparently there's no way to turn it off except master volume, so you can't even, like, slide it down and still have game volume. So yeah, that guy he screams the loudest screams, and apparently there's no block distance that makes it quiet. But I wanted, this is what I wanted actually, right here. I wanted to find some iron because I was gonna make a farm, and I was like, I don't even have a bucket. So I'm ill-equipped. I feel like I'm starting over, to be honest, because I found that area way out of spawn with the skeleton spawners, and then most of my stuff is still out there, and I haven't gone and, like, transport everything. I do plan on doing that, and I do plan on still, like, messing with those skeleton spawners. I've heard a lot of opinions from people about how well my minecart idea will work, and the general consensus is that it won't. So there's that. Oh, hi, I just sensed it, you know. It's just like, what if there's any iron in the ceiling? And there it was. But yeah, a lot of people are saying, everyone's saying, a lot of people are saying that the way that the spawners work, with them basically only triggering when you're near them and then stopping and unstarting their cooldown again when you're back near them. It's not like every time I pass them, it'll charge up a bit and eventually spawn. I would have to make sure I was around them long enough. So basically the general consensus is that one spawner is better than my 3 idea, since they're not close enough to stand and spawn all 3 from any one spot. So that's kind of lame, because they're just not quite close enough for that, for them to be one spot situation. I'm already doing great. Whoever was UHCing here, if they were, I'm assuming they were, just really feels like it. They left a lot of iron, and maybe they just didn't need iron at that point. This is, you know, fairly close to spawn, so maybe they were already equipped and they were just doing one last little check for diamonds or something before going in for the final battle. Look at all this iron! Holy smokes! I need to not be holding my torches in my hand when I'm picking up XP. My mending is not mending anything. I guess it's mending armor, but my armor's full, so that doesn't do anything. But I am using Silk Touch on everything just so I can hold more in my inventory. I probably won't record all of this caving, but I'll let y'all... Oh, he died. Interesting. I wonder how he died. Oh, I'm still not doing the thing. I only hit him once. It doesn't look like it's enough distance for actual fall damage. Weird. I was like, how is there light down here? But there you have it. Does it actually go anywhere? No. I haven't had any stories I haven't really told, but I have been getting a lot of requests because a lot of people haven't been following me in the last few years. They don't watch Twitch or keep up with the streaming stuff. And I did talk about this some. I did a few single player episodes. It's the whole reason why we're here right now, actually, because I did a few of those, and then everyone was like, "Let's play together," and I was like, "All right, I guess we can do that." But I did kind of recap a lot of that in my single player videos. There's only 3 of them, so if you want to go back and watch those, feel free. Give me more views. Those pennies add up from the advertising too, for what it's worth. But regardless of that, they're not super long, and I think they're pretty funny because I hadn't recorded in quite some time, and I was also pretty rusty with the game, so a lot of interesting and funny things happened, in my opinion. So yeah, feel free to check those out. But for those that don't know, I mostly went to streaming a few years back. I don't know exactly when, but where did he come from? And him too. But I did a lot of different things in the streaming universe in that time. I really don't know. Oh, well, this could be an answer to that question. Though it does seem unlikely. I used to work from home. You're like, you don't now? And actually, I don't. I work in an office. It's my office, but it's not my house. And that happened. So there's a couple things that happened many a year ago. I bought an office building. It used to be a gas station when I was a kid. There's actually a story somewhere out there where I robbed it, but that's beside the point. I didn't rob it like at gunpoint, so don't think that. I just broke in one night wearing a full-on ninja costume. True story. Anyways, I didn't steal anything. I'm just gonna get that out there. But the guy that owned it, his name was Bob, and he claimed, wow, holy. He claimed thousands of dollars on his insurance of things stolen. So I think really I basically helped this man commit insurance fraud. He was always known as a shady businessman. Like everyone knows that guy was shady. No one ever questioned whether or not he was shady. It was just like not even the town secret. It was just the town knowledge. And one of the things he loved to do was always have like this wad of cash he would keep, and he would just like flash it around. Surprised he never actually got robbed at gunpoint, to be honest with you, with his blatant money flash situation. But I wasn't alone, but I'm not going to implicate anyone else. I think when I've told the story before, I told the whole story, but whatever, it's not that important. There's the statute of limitations are well over anyways. I mean, I was like 13 at the time. So it's not like they're still out there cracking the case, no one cares anymore. Yeah, the person I was with, that was actually what we were looking for. I don't know why we would have thought that he just like, well, I'm going home. I'm going to put my money stash here on the counter, But we were like, oh, man, look at all that money Bob's got. Bob was wild, too. Like Crooked Bob, as we called him. We all knew, like I said, I was 13. But we all knew we could take our earnings from priming tobacco. We all worked in the tobacco fields. It's so southern here. But that was my summer job every year. But, all this talk of immigration and immigrant labor in the fields and the farms, etc. What's even cheaper? Kids. So, yeah, I think kids were the go-to for a lot of these farmers in terms of, like, cheap labor. But, so, yeah, we'd work in the tobacco fields, and then we'd go up there and we'd all buy cigarettes. I'm glad that was such a short-lived period of my life where I smoked for like a year and then stopped. To be fair, I would go. I mean, this was back in I was 13, so whatever, like 1994, 95. I was working at a bar in Texas at that time, and that was back whenever we still had the cigarette machines where you just put in like $2 in quarters and you can get a pack of cigarettes. That's how cheap they were when we were young, guys. So even whenever I went back to Texas, there was a period of time where I still continued on with my bad habits, but luckily that was very short-lived and I broke that habit. But God, I don't know how we got on this tangent at all. Holy crap! I'll have to go back and watch my video to even know how I got here, because I did not mean to talk about that. Oh, I was talking about where I work. That was what it is. Well, I bought what used to be the old store, the store that I broke into, because long after Bob shut down, they ended up building another store across the street, and I think it was the same owner, because I don't think Bob owned the store. He just like rented it and ran the store there. But after they shut that down, they built another one next door. I think there was something wrong with the gas tanks, actually, is what happened. But when they built the new one next door, the store turned into a daycare. So it was a daycare for, I don't know how long, to be honest. But after the daycare shut down, which is weird because since it was a daycare, they had to increase the number of toilets to be compliant with whatever daycare rules are. So in the back, where there used to be one toilet when I was a kid, there's now 4 toilets, and they're just like side by side. It's the most ghetto thing. There's like plywood in between them. It's like literally the most ghetto thing. But it's got a bunch of toilets. If you ever just need to fucking musical chairs your shit, like, I got the place. When I bought that place, the plan was to make it a recording location, a place to record where I wouldn't be in the house, because my daughter was newly born. She was a child, obviously. That's what they're like when they're newly born. And so, by default, kids are loud. So I would try to plan when I recorded based around her, and that didn't always work with other people. And this place went on the market for super cheap. It was this brick building that I've described now at this point, down to the detail of all the crime that happened there. But next door was this house. We call it the White House. It has less crime in it than the real one. I didn't bring any wood. That's unfortunate. Oh, hey, lapis. There's water here. Hello. But yeah, we call it the White House, and whenever I bought it, it was a package deal between the store building thing and the White House. So you had to get both. Couldn't get just one. But the price was actually really good. It's like 2 acres of land and this house, but there was a hoarder living there. And so the house was not livable. And a weird series of circumstances happened to transition the owner multiple times, where it went from whoever bought it after the guy that owns the grocery store next door, or not grocery store, convenience store next door, whoever bought it after then passed away. And then the person that inherited it from them passed away. So it went, and it was fast between these 2 passings. So it wasn't fast between like the original purchase and the passing, but after the secondary owner passed, it transitioned again within a few months. So the person that inherited it lived in Virginia, and they had never seen it in their whole life. So they had no knowledge of what this place was like. They didn't know that it was a hoarder house. They didn't know any of these things. And so I guess I can just leave my fortune up here because I'm not going to fortune anything. The chests. So they were asking something like 120,000, I think. I don't remember exactly at this point. It's been many a year. But I hear, oh my God, I just left for a second, guys. It's like they're having a party when their parents are out of town. And I put in an offer. I don't remember what my actual offer was at this point. But what's funny is her realtor, real estate agent, was really not great. Because I put in this offer, and then she emailed the client in Virginia, and the client in Virginia responded and was like, he's not serious, contact the church next door. Well, the church next door has been failing since I was a kid. It has so few members at this point, and the members it does have are all on their deathbed. So it's not growing in any way, and I don't think it ever will again. I think it's just a matter of time before it peters out, basically. Where was that? Here's the hole I was in. And so the church wasn't interested. And so in the long run, they ended up accepting my offer, and what I ended up paying for it all was $60,000, which is crazy in today's terms. Like, even the value of it now, if you look up the tax records and stuff on it, like the house alone is valued at like $250,000. So literally the best investment I've ever made in my life. But the house was unlivable. Definitely, like, probably should have been condemned. This was whenever Cone was still living in Florida, and he was considering moving up this way. And he came up to look at it, and the foundation was warped from hoarding. You know, hoarding's not great for foundations. It just a lot of weight in various spots. Like, I had came over and looked at the place before I purchased it, and talked to the woman living there. And she was friends with my grandma. She'd come over here, and her car was just as bad as her house. It was bad. Like, the only room you could enter was the front room, the front living room. You couldn't get to the kitchen. You couldn't get to the bathroom. She hadn't ran her heater in years because you couldn't get to it. I mean, thankfully, that would have been a fire hazard. But so she let me in, let me look around. I took a bunch of photos, and I sent it to the real estate agent, and she sent it to the woman that had inherited it, and then they were like, oh. Like, they didn't realize the state the house was in. So that's whenever they were like, oh shit. Her realtor probably told her, you need to just get out from under this thing. It's a mess. So yeah, it sat for many a year after I purchased it, and I had worked on the brick building quite a bit, put some money into it, put a new door on the front, because it was just a glass door, because it was used to be a convenience store and then a daycare. Put new doors on, new windows, set up some interior stuff, and that's as far as I got. And then I got divorced, and that changed my schedule in a way where I couldn't just go somewhere for many hours because I had my daughter, So I couldn't just like leave the house and be like, all right, I'm going to be, because she was still young. I mean, at this point I could definitely do that, but she was still young. So it wasn't like I could just head out and go work somewhere else or record somewhere else, whatever. So it just kind of got put on the back burner, and the whole thing kind of turned into our storage unit. And it got way worse after my grandmother passed away because I needed somewhere to put all of her things that we weren't getting rid of. I mean, she was a hoarder in her own right. Not the same kind of hoarder as the lady I was talking about, where there's just one room you can enter in pathways. But my grandma was the kind of person that, like, I should keep this newspaper and the next one and the next one. So she had lots of newspapers. And I don't think she ever got rid of any article of clothing she ever bought, or calendar. That's the other thing. I think she was just waiting for the how like eventually a calendar will roll over, like you can use like the dates line up again. I think she was waiting. She's like, I'm gonna live long enough for that. So yeah, my grandma's house was kind of a mess, and it took months to fix that, to deal with that, to get it back in order after she passed away. But that's where I'm at right now. Long story short, yeah, I don't record at home. I record in what used to be my grandmother's house. We turned my grandmother's house into the Mindcrack marathon storage facility. All the rooms are filled with all of our equipment for the marathon, and then the front office, what used to be the living room is now where I record. I have my gaming PC, my stream PC, etc. I had set it up to do console gaming at one point where I had a big TV and stuff in here, but that kind of got moved around with the Subathon that I did with Arcus. If you're not familiar with that, Arcus came from the Netherlands. He lived with me for a month. We did 27 days out of 30 possible days for a Subathon. He got COVID on his way here, and so he brought COVID. So it became really awkward because the way we had planned to do it was like, we won't both always be on camera, but we'll be live 24/7. But like whenever, like we'll have like a staggered kind of schedule where like, all right, I'm going to bed, and I'll sleep for like 8 hours. But then I don't remember exactly how it worked, but I don't think there was any period where there wasn't someone on camera, but we just kind of staggered it in a way that like it worked out based on his schedule and my schedule. And so, but it got real hectic because of the COVID. Because like, I wasn't supposed to be staying here. I was supposed to be coming up here to stream and then going home. But since he showed up with COVID and we spent, a week together setting everything up, I just assumed I'm going to catch COVID if I don't already have it as well. And so I quarantined here, thinking that I didn't want to bring COVID home and infect Jess and Apple. And so I never actually caught COVID, strangely enough. I've had COVID twice now, but I did not catch COVID from Marcus for whatever reason. I had it. I probably just had antibodies still because I had COVID at that point like 3 months prior or something, 4 months. I got it during Extra Life United whenever we were all in Florida and all of us caught COVID, which was kind of, honestly, whenever we went to United, I said to everyone, I'm like, I know they made everyone, submit a test and do testing and everything, but I was still convinced. I was like, we're all catching COVID here, aren't we? And we did. We sure did. Never did know who like patient zero is, but I mean it's kind of hard to figure those sorts of things out, right? Oh man, we did a Disney cruise after COVID ended. We had bought before I even met Jess, I had bought tickets to go on a Disney cruise, and then COVID happened. The way Disney did it, they gave you 150% of your original purchase price back. Or you could get a full refund, but if you wanted like Disney credit, like assuming you're still going to go on this thing, just not right now, then they would give you this 150% credit, right? So that's what I opted for because I'm like, well, we've already planned this whole thing and like we're going to do it. Just, I mean, I'm assuming the world will return to some form of normality at some point, right? Yeah, whoever was here, if it wasn't UHC, they did explore it, but just in a weird, like, sporadic method. So I don't know. I haven't seen a video of anyone in this area, so I don't know. But there's still a lot of stuff down here. I mean, I have plenty of iron to make a bucket now, that's for sure. So I rebooked the cruise, and then the same thing happened. And I think that happened 3 times. And so my original purchase price was like, I think it was $3,000. But by the time we went on the cruise, we had accrued like over $10,000 in Disney credit. So we were able to buy Jess a ticket because, like I said, I didn't even know her at the time that we had originally had planned to go on this thing. We were to get her a ticket. We went from, our original room was just, below decks, a port video window, not even a window where you're actually seeing the outside. You're seeing a video of what it looks like outside, which I heard can be kind of cool because I've heard they do some things like where suddenly Ariel's swimming by and stuff. So okay, cool. So our cruise experience was greatly improved thanks to COVID. I guess that's a one positive thing I could say about COVID that happened to me. But we eventually got to go on that. And the reason why I bring it up is at the time we had booked it, Matt and Trent had also booked. That's Sevidus and remember Trent's Social Llama, I think's his internet name. But they're husband and husband. Well, I don't know how it's worded, but they're married. If you don't know who these people are, you should definitely know who Severus is if you don't know who Trent is. But anyways, they had also got canceled from COVID booking. And whenever it came time for us all to rebook, we ended up rebooking on the same cruise. Which Jess likes to pickle me about because I'll have to tell this story in a different video, but there was a beach trip that happened right after COVID too that was awkward because it ended up becoming, it went from a family trip to me and 15 of my closest friends. And it wasn't planned, it just happened. Oh, thank the Lord, Michael. Michael saved us all from the loudest man on the server. I thought I was loud, but no, that lizard came along and broke everyone's eardrums, at least mine. I hate to complain. I feel like I'm the old man complaining about people on my lawn. It was just so fucking loud in my ear. Like, the first time it happened, I about shit myself and jumped out of my chair. Wasn't even recording then either, but it only happened once. So I was like, okay, cool, that they did it, and like, okay, now I'm good. It became like spammy, but anyways, it's not a big deal. Hope they didn't think it was. And I was like, why is this so fucking loud? But anyways, then we show up to this cruise, right? And so I knew Matt and Trent were going to be there. I knew that. But apparently, Josh, I don't know if you'll know who Josh is. He's been a big help at all of our marathons. Cheese Toes, I think is his online name. Something like that. But he, I don't know if he does much in terms of like streaming or content creation, but he's good friends with Chad, and they've always been like going to Disney together and stuff like that. And he had become a travel agent. And apparently there was a really good deal on our cruise in the very last minute, since I guess they try to sell any remaining seats or rooms, etc. So Matt shows up in our room, and he's like, I have a surprise for you. And I had this feeling that this was what was going to happen, but no one had confirmed it or spoiled it or told me anything. I don't know what I'm seeing over there. But Chad and Josh were also on our cruise. So we managed to not make it about a bunch of friends on a cruise, though. We definitely focused on the fact that it was always a family planned trip. And so we didn't really see them a ton. We would try to like hang out at night and get a few drinks or something, just stuff like that. But for the most part, we didn't really ever see him. But the reason why I brought all of this up is the first night on this cruise, we were supposed to hang out with Matt's extended family. What was that sound? Like, I heard the skeleton, but I heard something else too. I swear I did. And it ended up falling through. We didn't end up getting to do this, right? Thank God, because everyone in Matt's extended family had COVID, and they didn't know it yet. And so they ended up getting quarantined to their stateroom for the entire cruise. They were not allowed to leave. And so I can't imagine how bad that would be to catch COVID right at the start of a cruise like that. It cost a lot of money, in the long run. And then to just be like, all right, you can't leave your room. Like, oh my God, please no. Yeah, see, if this was a UHC cave, why would you leave the gold? There was already torches over here too. Maybe they overlooked it? I don't know. I just don't know. I'm just, it's like a mystery here. But yeah, the cruise was a great time. The only reason I brought that whole thing up is that is the COVID thing. But the whole point of talking about this is what have I been up to over the last few years? And I didn't get much of that accomplished, to be honest. I started on a ramble about, okay, that was a mistake. A ramble about where I'm recording, and it ended up where we're at here now. And I feel like I've recorded for an extremely long amount of time. I wish the Stream Deck would have like a number tally. Maybe there's a mod or install for that. for OBS and Stream Deck. Because unfortunately, my stream PC is all the way across the room, so I can't actually see OBS. I'm too blind. Okay. I knew that was going to happen. I just knew he was going to come in Secret Service. Okay. Eating sword on this guy. I don't want more zombie flesh. But yeah, I didn't plan on rambling like this whole time. But I think I'm going to stop here, just because I don't want the episode to be hours long. I'll check the time. If it's only been like 15 minutes, even though it feels like an hour, I'll fire it back up and we can continue on this cave and continue our ramble. But I will try to continue to... If you have questions, specifics, it does get more interesting than what I've said, because what I meant to start talking about here was the fact I switched to recording in this office space, which allowed me to start doing more things, like I had a dedicated kitchen just for streaming content. And so I spent months just doing cooking content. That's all I would do every day, is tons of cooking content. And then that transitioned into a different thing, and then a different thing. And so I've done a little bit of everything at this point. And I've learned a lot because of that, like different things about equipment. And there was a point where I had like 6 cameras set up in the house here, where I could just switch between every room in the house. I had a Lego room, a VR room, which I don't think ever saw the light of day, actually. I set it up, and then I don't think I ever did anything with it. That's going to follow me. I missed it. Ha 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 ha. Oh, I didn't miss it completely, though. I mostly missed it. I did pretty good missing it. But yeah, I appreciate you guys watching. Feel free to throw some questions my way about the things we just talked about, and I'll try to answer them all, try to give you guys more insight into what I've been up to. But I really kind of stepped away from gaming, other than I would stream some nights gaming, and I continued streaming with Co on Friday nights and stuff. We had a Patreon set up where we'd play with our patrons and stuff like that. But I've done a very large variety of things, which I'll talk about more in the next episode. But yeah, thanks for watching. Give me some ideas about this too. Give me your input. I mean, I got a lot of ideas. I'm not lacking here. I got quite a few. I want to clear out more of these birch trees. I hate these tall birch trees. I'm glad they don't do that when you plant a sapling. But yeah, I do look forward to hearing from what you guys are thinking, liking and disliking, and all of those things. So just throw your comments down, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye, everybody.